Well, good afternoon. It looks like we have everyone here, and it looks like we might have some other people trickling in. But once again, this is Andy with StockJumpers. I wanted to take some time today to go over the webinar for our auto trading and kind of give you a brief overview and go into depth as much as we can. If anyone has any questions, we'll be able to answer them as best as we can. And if not, I'll be able to get that answer to you very quickly. But also, I know I keep getting questions, and I want to make sure people are aware of it. Our previously recorded webinars will bring it over. We have a page for our previously recorded webinars, and so this will actually go up probably tomorrow or the next day. It's just, if you look at the screen, it's stockjumpers.com and then /webinars. So it gives you a nice little example of where they're going to be, and we'll send out a link for that as well after this webinar has been recorded so people can go ahead and take a look. But I've been getting quite a few questions about where our previous ones are, so I'll make sure I'll send another email out with that one today too as well. Well, without further ado, I want to once again thank you guys for joining us, and we'll get started. So auto trading, something I'm really excited about. We're excited to get it out there because no matter if you're the best trader out there in the world or someone brand new, auto trading can be for you. So whether or not you're busy, you're at work, you're on vacation, this is something where it literally is the set it and forget it. I know that's a cheesy term, but as long as you've programmed all of your things in the auto trade system and you've allocated your funds correctly, and we'll go into that, but it runs itself. So that's a really great feature right there for it. So how do I know if it's for me? Basically, like I said, it's for everyone. You might use it for 1 month, you might use it for 6 months. It's a customizable product that is month to month. We don't charge a year subscription like a lot of those other auto traders out there where it's like, hey, sign up and you need to sign up for a year or 3 years. It's a great opportunity because if you're going on vacation for a month but you don't want to miss out, you can still subscribe and still hit all those if you got a busy month coming up. So that's a really good opportunity for us. What do I need to do, or what do I need to do to get signed up? To get signed up, it's a pretty simple process. I'll send out an email in regards to that. It's a custom website that we have through this company, and we'll go there. And currently right now, there are a few brokers that we are teamed up with, and that'll go in there with that as well. But to get signed up, I will send you the information on how to do that. So you'll get an email in regards to a link to go to our page with them so that you can sign up via them. The trading platform, so currently right now we have Interactive Brokers, and that is probably going to be the best platform for you no matter what. Every trading platform out there is great, but if I was to recommend one and we don't represent them or get any money, I would highly recommend them. They're a great platform, and it gives you a lot of flexibility and works with pretty much every system out there. So it's a great opportunity to get all you can in one. It does everything. All right. So one big question about auto trading is what control do I have and what control does the auto trader have? So control is, what I mean by that is, let's say I get in your account as the auto trader, you link it up. What can they do, what can't they do, what can you do, and what can't you do? So with the current auto trader that we're going to have, you still have 100% full control of the trade. You will allocate a certain amount of your funds, so we'll go over that in a second, but you'll allocate a certain amount of your funds. The auto trader will pick and choose, will automatically do that, and if you feel at any time that you want to pull out of a trade, you have full authority to pull out of that trade. You can also shut off the auto trader at any time if you are uncomfortable for any reason at all. It is a day-to-day thing. Is it a month-to-month thing? You have full control. So the biggest thing is the auto trader only has as much control as you give it. So they're not going to be able to go in and do any funny stuff. It's you give the auto trader control and you have full authority in the very end. So that's just one thing I want to make clear, that everyone knows that even though it's auto traded, you still have 100% control. What trading systems for me? So we're going to offer a few different trading systems out there. These are just a couple examples of ones that people might be running or have ideas. We're going to be able to make it customizable for people, so you can have a system that we have, but also you can adjust the system that we have. So let's say you are someone who is a very, very conservative and you want to be 3-3. Well, you know, that's conservative. You might make a little bit of money, you might lose some money, but it's not one that I would recommend, because due to a lot of how our trades work, you might get stopped out on a winner based on that. So the 3-3 is just an example. You have a 3% stop loss, a 5% take profit. I know quite a few people that actually are using that system, the 3% stop loss and 5% take profit. At StockJumpers, I would recommend, if anyone asks me, I would say at least a 5% stop loss and a 5% take profit, just due to the fact that at any time at close or market volatility, you're going to get a swing one way or the other. And so that can happen very fast, that can happen right away, it can be slow, but that's the key is making sure that you're not getting caught in a whipsaw effect and being cheated out of all the profits. So those are just a couple of examples, but the cool thing also about this auto trader is let's say that you want to do a 4-3 or a 4-5 system, so a 4% stop loss and a 5% take profit, you can do that. So you can override the system and say, hey, I just want a flat 4% stop loss, and every day you can go in and switch that. So you can say, hey, you know what, I'm a little conservative today. I feel like, you know, I want to really only take a 3% loss, or I want to take a 5% loss. You can do that. That being said, if you're going to do a system, the more you mess with it, the more you're not going to see the results, period. If you're switching your stop loss back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you're not going to have a very good estimate of really how the trade did, because if you get stopped out really fast but the trade ended up going up and hitting the 5% take profit, well, you stopped yourself at 3% and you missed out on 5. So on a winning trade, you actually lost 3%. So that's the risks you run with an auto trade system. Based on our statistics right now, our auto trade system, if you were doing a 5-5, you'd be up 29.5% so far. So that's we've had some smaller jumps, and so those are not the 5-5 would not really. It's not really always a 5% take profit or a 5% stop loss, and I'll go over into that here in a little bit more. So how do I know how much to trade? Another really common question is let's say, for an example, I have a $100,000 account. What you need to do is say, what I'm going to do is allocate a certain portion. Let's say you want to allocate $35,000 to $50,000. You need to stick with that. So this comes down to money management, knowing that every single trade you need to be using the exact same dollar amount. Because if you lose money, yes, you still need to be able to go, hey, I need to put $50,000 back into this trade. So if you lose a grand, you need to put $50,000 back in, because if you make 5% profit going forward, 5% profit is different at 44,000 or 48,000, and same with 52,000. So you want to make sure that you're always using the exact same dollar amount per trade, and that's what's cool about the auto trade system is it will automatically go to the default that you pick. So if you want to have a $50,000 default, it will always go to a $50,000 default. So make sure you know that you have that account ability to do that. So you don't want to be, I wouldn't recommend doing your whole $100,000 just on this, because this is risky. Trading is always risky, but just for your comfortability, you need to pick what's going to work well for you. So what do I do when there's more than one jump? How this will work is you'll be able to set up a trade allocation. So if you want to participate in all 3 jumps, if we have 3 or 2 a day, you want to make sure that you're setting that appropriately. So these are things that I will be able to walk you through, or anyone part of the auto trading team will be able to help walk you through on how to allocate those funds. And that comes in after you have linked up your account and everything has gone through. But you have to make sure this stuff is done before, and we'll try to make sure that we can walk you through every step of the way. It is a little confusing to get it set up, but gosh, once it's going, it's amazing. So you want to make sure that you're using 100% of whatever you allocate for one jump, 50% half and half, and then a third to every jump when we're doing 3. So just really important, some simple things, but some things may be overlooked. And I kind of went over this a little bit. I said, can I have my own stop loss and take profit, and can I have a stop loss but no take profit? So 2 really interesting questions, like I said before, is you can have a stop loss and your own take profit. So you could say, I want a 4% stop loss and a 6% take profit, or I want a 3% stop loss and a 6% take profit. So you can do any type of thing in that, and then also if you're inside the trade while it's happening, you can actually go in and pull out too. So if for some reason it's a slow trade, a slow pokey as we call them, and it's at 4% and you don't know if it's going to hold or if it's going to go back down to 2%, then you can go ahead and exit the trade at that 4% take profit. So we still want to make sure that you have all of that ability to do that going forward right there. Can I have a stop loss but no take profit? This is kind of an interesting one. I just threw it in there to show, yes, you can, if you want to sit there and ride a trade and see what it's going to turn out to so that you can see the awesome gains that we have and close it out the next morning, you can do that. For instance, Pandora. If you went long on Pandora, you would have had a 5% take profit right after market, but if you would have rode it into today's trading, before, if we had a jump coming up and you close your position, you would have had 15.5% jump zone. So it gives you the ability to not have to worry about ever being stopped out. So that's one thing, is it's not always about having a system to take your profits, but it's having a system to cover your losses. So like I said earlier, this auto trade can be for anybody. It can be for anyone who is a brand new trader, and it can be for anyone who is a very experienced trader but wants to have a little bit of built-in protection that they might not know they could have had. So another one is, can I auto trade and can I trade manually at the same time? So for instance, let's say that you might be a person who is a cowboy trader and that's just your personality, but you want to make sure that if you're risking a big profit, you can trade the same trade. So if you had Pandora auto traded, you could also trade Pandora by yourself. You could take the quick 5%, and then if you had the other funds, you could run them up higher to see what you could get. So that's one way you could do that. Another way, when I mean by manually, is can I do more than one trade at one time? Yes, because in interactive brokers, they only have as much power as you give them. So they're only going to be able to trade what you tell them to trade. They don't take full control of your account. So you still have full control over your account. You can trade all your own trades manually, and it will ignore what's going on. The auto trader has no authority over those other trades. So if you want to trade StockJumpers on auto trade, you can, and whatever system or whatever you're doing on your own, you can do yourself. So once again, goes back to you have full control over the trading at all times. So here's, what if my stop loss or my take profit are not hit? We had a lot of this week, so this is a good example to go over this this week. So how that would work is with the auto trader is, unless you were to go in and close a position yourself, the auto trader will get a trigger sent to them to close the position at the beginning of trading. The whole key with that is with StockJumpers, it's rinse and repeat. We want you to be able to be in a position for as short as possible and get out and return to cash. So you want to make sure that you're always in there. So if the position's at -2% or it's at +4.3%, those positions are going to be closed right there. So you would have you're not going to capture the 5%, so it truly is auto-traded. So the position will be automatically closed next day in the trading morning before the next trade alert goes out. So that's just an example for you there. How do I get started? Kind of went over this earlier, is just let us know. It is a little bit confusing to get started. I will send information out, but please let us know. We're here to walk you through it. It is new to a lot of people. There's some people that are familiar with a different style of auto trading. They're not all the same, so it's really important to know the ins and outs and to make sure that you're comfortable doing that. And please follow up with anyone here at StockJumpers or feel free to, once we get it set up with the auto trader, they'll be able to answer any questions too that they can. Other than that, I think that was about it. I tried to cover as much as I could that I could think of, or that I'd work with the auto trader on what's some future questions that people have, or just in general. So I want to go ahead and open it up. If anyone has any questions or comments or concerns, please feel free to go ahead and ask them now, and I'll be able to answer them. So is it ready to go now? Yes, it is ready to go now. So it is something that if you are ready to go, it is ready to go now. So meaning it kind of goes back onto you, where based on how long you take to get your paperwork in order, it's ready to go. So one thing I just remembered that I forgot to bring up is currently right now it'll be anywhere from, the price point right now is $70 a month, and it could go up or down from there, but that is just where we're at as to start. Can trailing stop be used? So, David, in the aftermarket, that is something that is not something that can be executed in the aftermarket. So these are technically not stops, they're actually limit orders. So a stop loss is something that can be triggered during the normal trading hours, but since we are in the aftermarket hours, the only thing that can be executed are limit orders. So the trailing stop is not something that can be executed like that. So it's something that only will work during trading hours. So we actually put in a from close, we execute a limit order with a little bit of wiggle room right there. So that's how we do that. Also, another question is when will the trade be executed? So the trade will be executed based on the time our alert goes out, but anywhere within the last hour of market trading. So it doesn't look like too many questions today. So if anyone does have any questions going forward, please feel free to email me or shoot those out to me, and we'll be able to answer those. And as I said that, every time I say that, someone always asks. So does this apply to before market announcements? Yes, it does. So this will be the same thing is true with before market open. If we have a before market open earnings release that we are doing, we will send out the report, and those are part of the auto trade will be executed before market close and executed in the early hours of trading. So when these limit orders are out there, as long as these limit orders will be out there until we cancel them. So they're not the limit order that we put for the take profit, or as the let me say, as the auto trader will say, as the target price, not take profit, but the target price will be what the limit is, and same with the stop loss will be what the limit order is. And those are good until either one is reached or we cancel them and close the position. All right, so once again, I will go ahead and I will be sending out a copy of this webinar, or a recording of this webinar very soon, and you will be getting that in your inboxes and along with the link that goes to all of the other webinars that we have done, and we will continue to do that going forward. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us at team@stockjumpers.com, and we'll be able to answer any questions you have or get that answer for you as soon as possible. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and thanks for taking the time out of your day today.